Hi, this is an apartment in Geneva. We're about to do Watches and Wonders in a week and a bit, but this video has to happen. It's unscheduled. We stuck this set together to bring to you an announcement that for me is the biggest announcement since 1983 when Swatch launched. Look, you know by now that Omega and Swatch have collaborated on something. We can reveal that what that is, people thought that this was an April Fool's joke. That's how extreme this is. It's an Omega times Swatch, bio-ceramic MoonSwatch for €250, 11 versions. This is absolutely not a joke, even though as I say it, I mean, I'm freaking out here. I'm still getting messages from Omega regarding the specs of the watch. That's how fresh this all is and how the information is just coming together now. So I can share with you now that we have been on the journey with Omega in the last couple of weeks, and that Luke Benedictus, our editor, who's about to come into the story on Zoom, he's right here on a laptop in front of me, but he was invited to Omega, or Omega as they say in America, last week to see what this mysterious project was about that was all driven by Omega. So we had absolutely no idea that Swatch were involved. So it's a huge thing that this is happening. And look, just in a quick sense, I just wanted to say, why is this such a big deal? Because it's bold. The Swiss watch industry, after 10 years of working in this space, a brand, I'm losing my words a little bit because it doesn't usually go down like this. We don't see a brand like Omega collaborating in this way, and it's exciting. It's super exciting. And I don't know the whole story. Luke's sitting here smugly looking at me because he knows the whole story. Don't worry, we're gonna introduce the watches to you one by one throughout this video. You're probably wanting to know the specs. I'm gonna tell you that just because, again, it's not exactly the usual reveal because you're desperate to know what these watches are. They're 42 millimeters in size. They're bio-ceramic in material, which is 2/3 ceramic and 1/3 castor oil. I don't know how that works. Luke maybe can tell us more. They're 13.25 millimeters thick, and they're not mechanical movements. They are a Swatch chrono quartz movement, which some clever cookie picked up by saying that there are 4 jewels in this movement. In our teaser video, you could see that in a flash of the case back, that that's what this movement is. So well done you. That's what the watch is. Luke, I want to bring you in now. What the hell is happening?
Well, Andrew, let's start at the beginning, shall we? Basically, about 10 days ago, Time+Tide gets a call from Omega saying, we want to invite you to the Omega HQ in Bienne for a top secret project that we want to show you as part of a special workshop.
Yeah.
Now, normally you don't travel halfway across the world when you don't know what's going on, but we kind of figured, it's Omega. Let's take a little punt. So
it had a bit of a Bond feel to it, didn't it, Luke? Like the mission itself, it was clearly not your everyday launch because there was some, like, even the way they were talking to us was different.
It was all very weird and we were excited, but we were in this situation. There are 5 journalists on a bus and we're going the Omega HQ and we've just got no idea what we're about to see. Anyway, eventually we get to Omega and we're shown into this room, and then we're kind of like, okay, wow, because there's some serious big hitters in this room. First of all, there's Nicholas Hayek, the CEO of the whole of Swatch Group. Let's just say he's not someone you get a lot of FaceTime with. There's Reynald Esclerman, the CEO of Omega. There's Gregory Kissling, who is the head of Omega product design. There's the guy who everyone knows as the walking Wikipedia of Omega, who is Petros Protopapas, the Omega historian. But there's also, here's the first curveball. Also there is Carlo Giordanetti, who is the creative director of Swatch, as well as probably the most charming man in the entire watch industry. And here's the weird thing. Apart from Reynald, they're all wearing Swatch watches. And we're in this room, and on the walls, there are all these like enormous pictures of planets. And there's one giant poster. I don't know if you can see this. It's basically this. It says Omega times Swatch. And there are all these different planets which say things like mission to the sun, mission to Mercury, mission to Venus.
Yeah. What is happening? Luke, I know you're speaking as fast as me. What was going through your mind at that point? Did it start to twig?
No, I absolutely no idea whatsoever. And the Swatch element as well. I was just completely clueless. And then suddenly Mr. Hayek stands up and he says, look, we've brought you here from all around the world for this special workshop. We'd love to get your thoughts. So basically what he was about to reveal to us was obviously suddenly, okay, it's a collaboration. And this is what it was. I mean, Andrew, if I ask you what is Omega's most iconic watch, there's only one answer, isn't there?
I mean, it has its own day.
Exactly. At the same time, Swatch, they're actually really famous as well for just being inspired by icons. You think of what they did with, Snoopy and Peanuts recently, or with Keith Haring. So what they're doing here, Omega times Swatch, they're creating a series of watches inspired by the Moonwatch. They've got loads of the same details. They've got that same, tachymeter scale with that little dot over the 90. They've got that same asymmetrical case, the distinctive speedy subdials, and that 42 millimeter case. But these watches are very different in three main respects. Number one, as you touched on, they're made of Swatch's proprietary bioceramic material, which is this unique mix. It's 2/3 of ceramic, and then the other third is some weird material that's derived from castor oil, apparently.
Look, can I pull you up there, because not everyone will have held this in their hand, and I wonder, is this comparable to a normal ceramic? How is it the same? How's it different?
What I can say, I've got one actually right here in my hand.
Wow! We accidentally just did the live reveal.
It's a live reveal. What I can tell you is it's incredibly lightweight. I mean,
hold it up again. Come on, hold it up again. Don't tease me.
Forget titanium. This feels amazing on the wrist. It's really light. It feels quite hard. So it feels really like nice and lightweight on the wrist. So we were talking, this watch is different from the Speedbuster with three main details. It's made of bioceramic. The second one, it's not just inspired by the moon, it's been inspired by a range of planets. So we've got some of these moon swatches, they're inspired by the Earth, by Jupiter, by Saturn, by Neptune, by Uranus, Mars, Pluto. I feel like I've forgotten some planets, but there are 11 all in all. But best of all is the price. These watches are going to retail for just 250 Swiss francs a pop. Yes, there are 11 of them in total, and a lot of people are going to want to try and collect the set. But here's the catch. They're going on sale on the 26th, and you can only buy 2 at a time. So that's going to take a bit of legwork. So I'm guessing that come the morning of the 26th, there might be some queues outside some of these shops. What's really cool about these watches as well, you see the battery cover, they've got a picture, a digital image of the planet covering the battery cover, which is super cool. Apparently these are images they got from NASA. So thanks for that, NASA.
So tell me about the strap, because that's a Velcro strap. Like, put it on your wrist in front of camera for me, please.
So it's a Velcro strap. So I guess that ties into the whole...
hold it up to camera.
It ties into the whole astronaut chic spirit of the Moonwatch. This is like, should I ever want to go into space, I'm imagining I can strap this on over my spacesuit.
So look at that on your wrist. So I'm going to remind people again, that's a 42 millimeter watch. That's 13.25 millimeters thick, which does not look, you have I would say, small and average wrist, or average wrist?
Yeah. I've got the wrist of a teenage girl.
So, and that's looking, God, that looks mighty fine. That really,
I really love it.
Yeah. And is it super light? How is it compared to your other watches?
It just feels super light. I mean, I tend to wear sort of more vintage watches, which are they're generally a bit smaller. What blew me away was about how light and comfortable it is on the wrist. So, and I think what else is great about it is that it just feels fun. It's got that Swatch spirit of fun into it. I think if they'd done this project and they'd just done a really sort of like one-to-one sort of homage in the same sort of like colors, that might have been a little bit odd, but it's the colors are so much fun that it's just it's just a really genuinely feel-good watch.
And that's why I mentioned at the start of this chat 83, because for Swatch to disrupt the industry the way they did, selling 500 million units in a very short amount of time, 500 million Swatches were sold. there had to be something more than the watch. It was a statement. It was an attitude. It was like, you remembering the advertising campaign from the 80s. It was all about cheekiness and irreverence, and it was really about shaking things up. And the Swiss watch industry in that moment showed that it actually could play a different way. And I feel that in this, certainly in this cynical age that we're in of scarcity and watches continuing to rise and rise and rise in price, and then occasional kind of tokenistic attempts to do an accessible watch, this just feels absolutely like it plugs back into that electric energy that made the Swatch. Like, we've all, do you remember your first Swatch? I remember all of the emotions of my first Swatch.
We all have a nostalgic affection for swatches. And I think what I love about this so much is that when I think about Omega, ultimately, what I really think about Omega is kind of, I think they're masters of technical proficiency, aren't they? You think of the MoonWatch, they've just done the Ultra Deep, you know, it's a watch water resistant to 6,000 meters. Meta certification. This is the brand that can do the timing for the Olympics. You know, this is a brand that nails its technical precision. But what they've done here with Swatch, they've just done something that it's fun, it's playful. And that, for me, so it shows Omega in a really refreshing new light. So I think I really like it from that angle as well.
Speaking of the new light, let's go through the watches, because you've held all of these watches in your hand. And I want you to tell me about them one by one. I'm going to say the name of it from this. I've just literally got this document from Natasha at Omega just before the video started. So I've got the names here. Let's do it. Tell me about the Mission to the Sun.
This was the first watch they started with. I guess it's the corollary to the moon. So it's got this bright sun yellow dial. You know, the chronograph seconds hands, subdial hands, and tachymeter scale, they're in orange. The subdials and bezel background are in white. And what I can tell you is that this is Mr. Hayek's personal favorite.
Luke, next up is the Mission to Mercury.
Yeah, this watch with this really intense deep gray. Works really nicely with a metallic gray Velcro strap. The chronograph seconds hands, tachymeter scale, they're in white, so they really pop. And then against those, the subdials and bezel are in black.
Mission to Venus?
Venus, like this one is quite a bold one. It's got this white Velcro strap, which offsets that powdery pastel pink dial.
What about Mission to Earth?
Mission to Earth, I like this one. I really like this one. This is this kind of earthy green watch with a navy blue strap. You know, the chronograph seconds hands and count hands, they're in brown. The subdials are in white, and the tachymeter scale is this really nice, rich blue bezel. So blue bezel background. So yeah, that was one of my favorites for sure.
Mission to the Moon.
Mission to Moon. Well, what's interesting about this is they haven't gone like the MoonWatch and gone straight sort of black and white. This is a sort of nice sort of steel gray color, finished with a black Velcro strap, and the hands and the tachymeter scale, they are in white, just like the original MoonWatch.
What about Mars? Mission to Mars.
Well, Mars, I mean, of course, as we all know that the hardest color to do in ceramic is, of course, red. But Swatch and Omega have nailed it here. They've really got that fiery red tone. And also, the other thing that's special about this watch is that it's got these special red hands, which are a nod to, I think it's the Alaska Project hands.
Mission to Jupiter. How was this one?
This is a good one for those who like to keep it classic. It's kind of got these elegant sort of beige tones, black strap, and then the chronograph seconds, hands, and subdials, they're in orange, which just kind of give it a pop of life.
Now, here's one that stands out. Mission to Saturn. This one had a really big difference.
This one is different. So, I mean, at first you look at it and you just like be admiring those sort of sandy, cool beige tones and the way they contrast with that brown dial and strap. But what's really cool here is the subdial at, I think it's 6 o'clock. The subdial, it depicts Saturn's rings. So that's just a nice little, I don't know, kind of Easter egg there, which I think a lot of people are really going to gravitate towards.
I'm going to avoid all the puns. What about the Mission to Uranus?
It was all going so well. This is the kind of the color of the moment, isn't it? It's kind of that pastel airy blue. Some people might say quite like the Tiffany blue. It's on that bright white Velcro strap. When I was asking Gregory Kissling, the Omega product director, he said this is the one he would like to have most. It's just a great summer watch.
Luke, mission to Neptune.
This is the one that I plumped for. I've always got a soft spot for a nice blue watch. It's just that combination of the navy blue with the lighter blue. I just think it's an absolute winner.
Damn. Okay, I'm losing focus. Mission to Pluto. So this is interesting. They've given Pluto back its title.
Yeah, I mean, don't we? We all feel a bit sorry for Pluto, don't we? It's the one planet that was like downsized to like dwarf planet status. But I'm glad to see Omega is giving it its due with some nice light, cool grey tones that contrast with that dark grey strap. And you know, the counters and bezel background, they're really nice. They're this really nice, they're this rich burgundy tone, which I think this is a real winner as well.
So what else can you add to this story?
Well, I think what's really important to just reiterate is just how radical this is. Now, the Speedmaster in watch terms, the word icon gets thrown about. This is a bona fide icon. And for many brands, the idea of tinkering it would be just, it's sacrilegious, you know? So first of all, Omega have given permission to collaborate with another brand and, you know, have a bit of fun with it. And that's the other thing. This is the big thing. Like, watch brands do not collaborate with other watch brands.
How did this happen? The Speedmaster is the most sacred icon in maybe, I mean, you could argue that it's right up there in the pantheon of watchmaking, but certainly for Omega, who signed this off?
It's interesting you say that, because I was speaking to Petros, the brand historian, and he said that when he first heard about it, he was dead against it because, as you say, the Speedmaster, it's sacrosanct, you know, it's an icon, and the idea of tinkering with this masterpiece of the range, it's sacrilegious. But then what he said is that's what's so amazing about this project. Watch brands in general, they don't openly collaborate. And yes, they're both owned by the Swatch Group, but I think it took Mr. Hayek, you know, as the head honcho across all the brands to be the bridge between the two to make this happen. Yeah, well, here's the thing. So in Bien, there's the Omega headquarters, and then just next door there is the Swatch building. And recently they have built a bridge which is connecting these two buildings. And so I just wanted to go and step out onto this bridge, because for me, this watch, that the bridge is a perfect symbolism between these two great brands. You know, it's a genuine collaboration between Omega and Swatch, and that is what makes it so special.
My gut feeling, Luke, is that because there are people that collect Pateks and people that collect Swatch, and they're the same person. I saw the Peanuts collection recently, and I ordered every single piece of that collection because there's something satisfying about having entire Swatch collections, and they sometimes can appreciate handsomely.
It's not limited, but I think, you know, at the same time, they're going to sell out fast. The initial run isn't gigantic. So, you know, if you do want to get one on your wrist, don't hang about.
Thanks, mate. Thanks very much. And thanks everyone for watching. We hope this has given you a lot more information about a launch that we still can't quite get our heads around, but we're just so glad it's happened. Thank you, and see you next time.